Detroit has a ridiculously high arson rate. It's so high that it's actually dubbed the arson capital of the country. And there's a ton of different conspiracy theories about why people are burning down so many different houses, but tonight we just wanted to focus on a highly controversial tradition, Devil's Night. In most places, the night before Halloween's called Mischief Night. In Detroit, we call it Devil's Night because every year for decades now, there's been between 500 to 800 acts of vandalism. Thousands of volunteers began to roam the streets each year trying to prevent these fires, and strict citywide curfews take place early in the night. While shooting the film, I've tracked down a ton of fires. I've seen these firefighters do and survive some of the craziest stuff you could imagine. I'm holding on to the best footage for now, but I wanted to show you just how wild things can get around here. Most of the time when I see fires, I'm out chilling on my balcony, but we've seen them occasionally while we were out exploring rooftops. Once you see that black smoke hit the air, you know it's on.
Eternal life, make my city proud.
The first fire we tracked was a vacant bando on the east side. There were already multiple squads on scene by the time we even got to the house. I've realized being a firefighter in Detroit requires a different kind of bravery. They're risking their lives going in these houses, knowing no one is inside needing to be saved. They're just battling an invisible enemy that they'll never see, because these arsonists are never caught. Paramedics and firemen from other cities come out to help, just in case things get out of hand. The structures might be abandoned, but they sometimes ignite surrounding homes. Even the ashes can heat back up, so they might come out and fight the same fire multiple times in the same night. They got this one under control super fast, but the scanners were going off reporting more fires.
Eternal life, make my city proud.
Most of the fires I've tracked were bandos, but this one turned out to be an occupied house. A person and their dogs. It's not the same exciting feeling anymore once you realize someone's everything was in that house, that they still might be. It's one of those moments that you start to wish you weren't there. The firemen were quick to do what they could. The smoke was just so heavy. I spent more time in my head questioning things than watching the fire. You're glancing around wondering, is that them? Are they a guy or girl? Did everyone make it out? They have somewhere to go? It's really cold out. Did they at least grab a sweatshirt? Not one sweatshirt? Some socks? Underwear? Nothing? By the time things were under control, everyone was visibly exhausted. Someone came up to us and told us all the people made it out alive. The guy managed to rescue his dog from the flames, but his little puppy, he couldn't save. As we were heading back, he was walking out of his house. He had its body wrapped up in some old clothes. He set it on the curb, hopped on the hood of his car, and stared at what remained of his house. Needless to say, we were pretty much over it at this point, and we headed home. Around 2 a.m., the fire scanners were going off again. A second alarm fire at an abandoned apartment complex on the west side.
Engine 54.
54 is in.
Engine 59.
59 is in.
Engine 59, squad 1.
Squad 1's in.
Engine 56, we have you en route. Engine 56.
Engine 56.
Continue on to the box alarm. Is in progress.
I hopped right out of bed and headed out.
Eternal life, make my city proud.
This was definitely one of the fires that caused the term Devil's Night. As many fire trucks and men that could be spared came out, and multiple ladders went up. But it was obvious quick, the flames were too strong. The fire just kept growing and growing. Of course, the news was on scene, getting their stories. Hopefully nothing corny. The neighboring homes were at risk of igniting, so they had to be sprayed constantly. There was so much smoke, it engulfed the building. They battled the fire for hours. Daylight was creeping on the horizon before it was finally under control. It was a long, intense night. We were freezing cold, and I was in my pajamas, so we decided it was time to head home. I decided to go back by myself and see what remained after the fire. It was a sketchy thing to do, but I was curious. The place had definitely been abandoned for a long time. It was one of those bandos that looked like people all of a sudden just up and evacuated. And they only took what they needed. The neighboring house was definitely a victim of the night before. I found some of the rooms that the fire didn't reach, and it made the ones that did look unrecognizable. I've already fallen through the floor of a bando before, and it was fire burnt like this one. And this one doesn't look super structurally sound after the fire, but the shot I want to get, I have to cross this sketchy bridge, so I guess we're gonna try it. Believe me when I say there's nothing cool about falling through floors in Bandos. Also believe me when I say don't come do this alone. It's not a good idea. For real. I was relieved to get to the top floor safely, but when I did, I realized almost none of it was left. Just ash and the smell of burnt and decaying building. It's a scent that's forever embedded in my head from exploring Detroit. The journey to making this film has been so crazy. There's nothing safe from the flame.